This video is sponsored by TestFram and their non-destructive front license plate holder for the Tesla Model Y and 3. Today we are in Las Vegas for the 2024 CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. And we're going to be heading down to the Hyundai, Samsung, and Kia events this afternoon. All right, let's take you in there. So for the first 2 days prior to the official start of CES are media days. And this year, I was lucky enough to be part of that and attend some product unveilings from companies like Hyundai, Samsung, Kia, and although I didn't attend it, LG announced they'll be opening an EV charging factory here in the US. First was Hyundai, who really seemed to be pushing their fuel cell initiatives as well as sustainability. Next, I was into the Samsung event, which I was pretty excited about as someone who grew up a bit of an Apple fanboy, but is yet to attend an Apple event. This seemed like a decent alternative. During today's event, they talked about a surprising partnership with Tesla, where they'll connect Samsung SmartThings energy products with Tesla's home power products like Powerwall, solar inverter, as well as other Tesla EV charging products. Then Samsung went on to announce what appears to be the second generation of Bali, a home assistant, which I was not familiar with, and to be honest, it all seemed a little weird. But it was another look into the future of home automated assistants, albeit an odd one. Next, I was on to Kia, where they gave a quick update on current products, talked about their AI initiatives, as well as sustainability, and then unveiled a full lineup on a new platform called PBV, Platform Beyond Vehicle, which is a total mobility lineup of vehicles that are fit-for-purpose EVs with advanced software solutions. Today, they unveiled the PV5 concept, which looked wild and futuristic. The next day, I was on to the main course, which was the official start of CES at the Las Vegas Convention Center. This year, they had over 135,000 attendees from the tech industry with thousands of booths to explore. The first was Amazon's foray into the auto sales business, which is sure to shake up the traditional car dealership model, maybe even more than Tesla's direct-to-consumer option, as Amazon will deal with dozens of auto manufacturers. Next was the XPeng Aero HT flying concept car, which I think isn't far from what we'll see in the coming years, as I personally think the drone concept makes the most sense and will be the safest. Next was a goofy car from Hyundai Mobis, which allows the wheels to turn completely sideways, which while it may look funny, could make parallel parking a breeze. After that, there was another futuristic concept from XPeng, and then I came across the Karma Revero, which looks pretty sick and will need to do a little bit more research on this vehicle as it looks incredible and lists some pretty solid specs, like a 360 mile range, 4 seconds 0 to 60, and 130 mile per hour top speed. Next, I got to take a closer look at Kia's PBV concept lineup, and as you can see, it's pretty futuristic, although I don't think we'll see it in mass adoption for many years. After that, it was on to Mercedes, where they showed off a cool looking concept vehicle with an incredible looking high-tech dashboard. Next, it was Qualcomm's Snapdragon concept car, which I believe is meant to show other manufacturers the possibilities when using Snapdragon hardware and cloud-connected services. Next is a car that I'm quite interested in, which is the 2025 Polestar 4. I think it looked great and can't wait to test it out later this year. After that, I took a quick tour of the Hauer electric motorcycles, which looked like something from Tron. Next was a rideshare taxi from Zoox, which again looks like something from a sci-fi movie. It's self-driving and their motto is built for riders, not drivers. I want to take a minute to thank today's sponsor, TestFram, and their 5-star, non-destructive front license plate holder, which is the best option for any Tesla owner living in a state requiring a front license plate. I'll put a link in the description below, which includes a promo code to save on your purchase. All right, so for step one, you just want to determine how high you want it. So not to block, any of the airflow going into the vents on the bottom. So I'm going to do it like this at the top. All right, so you just want to make sure that all 4 of the small screws are screwed in nice and tightly. All right, so step 2 shows to install the license plate. It says just use these nuts and bolts right here. There's gonna be 4 of each of those, and we're just gonna put it in these 4 spots. All right, so we'll just take 1 each. All right, so it's all on there now. What you're gonna do then is just kind of put this part into the bottom of the grill. And then what you're gonna do is take this lever here and you're just gonna push it down like that. It's gonna be pretty tight, they said, but that's okay. They said, don't worry about breaking anything, just push it down and it's gonna have a nice, really tight hold. You're gonna wanna lock it. And so there's like a little screw right here. You're going to want to screw that in to keep it from anybody just walking up and going like that and taking it off. But yeah, once you have it locked on, you're just going to tighten that right there. All right, so yeah, you can see the grill right here, and then just put it in there and then push that clamp down. And just tighten that to lock it. And that's it. Looks nice. Now we get to the really fun stuff, at least for me. This is the Pebble Flow. I had come across this a couple of months ago and learned as much as I could about it, and is probably the best option for towing with an EV like Cybertruck or Rivian. For reasons we'll talk about in a minute. It sports an extremely clean design, think Apple or Tesla, and has some pretty impressive specs and should be starting deliveries later this year or early next. The founder and CEO was on hand and was gracious enough to spend a little time with me answering some questions. Went to your website and I watched the whole intro thing. Very Apple-esque.
Thank you.
Did you used to work at Apple?
I did,
okay.
Almost a decade.
Today, we're ready to show you what we've been working on, the Pebble Flow.
Well, what you're looking at here is our Pebble Flow. It's our flagship product. It's an all-electric, hassle-free travel trailer, completely built from the ground up, right? It has a number of features that's built like an EV and really complements EV as a tow vehicle, like a Cybertruck, for example. To start with, we have this 45 kilowatt-hour battery that's built into. It's a proper EV battery that you can charge it through level 1 all the way to level 3 DC fast charging, like an EV.
Oh, so you are going to do DC fast charging?
Correct. We support DC fast charging here,
Okay.
I can show you here that this is where you get all the powers. So not only we have a CCS1 that you can DC fast charging, eventually it will be next.
And then NEMA 1450.
And NEMA 1450 that you can actually output power for vehicle to load, right? It can charge your EV. It can power your house like a Tesla Powerwall, for example.
So with like, for instance, a Cybertruck, you have the 1450, NEMA 1450 on that. Would you be able to then charge this as well from like both
That's
ways,
right,
basically?
both ways. Both way. You can charge it both way. Yeah,
Okay.
this charging the Cybertruck charging this. Yeah, because it has both plugs in here, right? And then on top of all this, that we've added 1 kilowatt of solar on the roof, so it's constantly replenishing the battery on its own, right? So with this much battery, our user would be able to live off the grid for up to a week, fully electric, zero emission, right? And then we also added motors. We added electric motor, not just one, but two, that basically makes this vehicle self-propel. This is a big deal.
So let's say you get a 300-mile range. Typically, you lose half of that with towing.
More than half.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is a bummer, even with the current Cybertruck without the extra battery pack.
That's right.
So how will this help in that, the propulsion of it going
That's
on?
right, yeah. So it helps in two different ways. Let's come around and I'll show you more.
Okay.
First is the design here is very streamlined, as you can tell, right? It's extremely aerodynamic. So the aerodynamic drag is really the biggest loss of energy when it comes to towing, right?
It's not weight, right?
It's not so much as weight. Weight doesn't matter a bit, secondary. Primary is aero. So we've designed this to be very aerodynamic. And when you're towing it, this nose cone here will actually go all the way up electronically. And that connects the front and the back vehicle together to really achieve even greater aerodynamic performance. Then on top of it, because it's self-propelled, we have the motors that assist the tow vehicle. So your tow vehicle, whether it's a Cybertruck or a Rivian or whatever, doesn't have to put in as much of a power. So it's not going to drain your battery as quickly, right? Those combined together will significantly extend your range when it comes to towing.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, as far as things like heating and air conditioning, when you say 7 days, off the grid, is that taking that into consideration as well?
That's taking consideration light use on the AC. Obviously, the heavier the you use it, the shorter it is. Yeah.
As far as the shower, what kind of water capacity does this currently have? And then the last question would be, when do you expect starting to do deliveries?
Right. So we have a 37-gallon fresh tank and a 50-gallon gray and black combined tank. So plenty of tank size for you to carry water, go boondocking, and then dump it at the end of your trip. Right. As far as delivery, what you're looking at, this is our alpha prototype vehicle. It's fully functional, right? It's not a show car, it's fully functional. Everything that you've seen on the video here, all the key features that we've developed and run it on this vehicle here. Right. So we're working hard towards getting this into production before end of the year.
Okay.
And we're taking pre-order deposit right now.
$500?
$500, fully refundable. Pricing starts at $109,000. And then there's additional potential tax credit on top of it, $7,500.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate the time, and I'm excited to put my order in. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks. All right, so I'm here with WiTricity, with Alex.
Alex Cruzen. Hey, I'm the CEO of the company.
Oh, great. And so I just wanted to, came by and saw some wireless charging here with a Ford Mach-E, and I just wanted to kind of find out a little more info about how it works. Does it work with current cars, or does that, is there a retrofit, or how does the process work?
Well, what we're showing on the floor today here at CES are two cars. One is the Ford Mach-E, right, which we retrofitted with wireless charging, right? So that is an 11 kilowatt charger. So it delivers about 35 miles of range per hour. Right? It's considered level 2. We do this retrofit to sort of show the world what's possible. We're actually selling fleets, both of this Ford Mach-E as well as e-transit vans.
Okay.
Right. So that's just sort of to prime the pump and get the market started.
Before consumer.
The core of our business is actually working with the automakers.
Okay.
So we're actually a tier 1 supplier to the OEMs, and where our systems get integrated natively into the vehicle platform. In fact, one example of that is a car that we have on display just over there, which is a new Korean maker, a company called KG Mobility. They used to be called SsangYong. If you're a real auto geek, you might have heard the term SsangYong in South Korea. And they've announced that they're going to be launching wireless charging with WiTricity. But we have global automotive brands that are sourcing from us as well. So today we announced that EasyGo will be selling WiTricity wireless charging this summer, as well as Icon, which is another great brand.
Right. Are we thinking things like down the road, things like hotels, things like that, or like where you maybe go grab a bite to eat? And,
right. So there's two parts to it, right? There's getting the cars ready.
Yep.
Which means getting the receiver built in and integrated.
Okay.
And we have on display the sort of very straightforward single box, wireless charging receiver.
Yep.
But then there's the infrastructure.
Right.
So we have the chargers, which could be installed anywhere, outdoors, indoors, at hotels, parking lots, shopping malls, apartment building garages, workplace.
Right. And so now you said it's currently level 2.
Yes.
Is the goal then to have? I mean, obviously wireless has its limits, I guess, but...
Well, it doesn't actually.
Okay.
So we have working in the lab much higher power levels, like 75 kilowatt power levels, 50 kilowatt designs, etc.
Yep.
But our focus as a company right now is on this level 2 charging. Use case is really different. It's about park and charge, right?
Right.
Because I park, I walk away.
Yep.
Right. And
go to the mall for 2 hours or something.
Or I come home, right? Or I'm at work.
Yeah.
Right. And so wherever you have hours to charge, you just park, walk away, you come back always to a fully charged car. Hey, day to day, I never have to think about charging.
Right.
I park the car, I walk away, I come back to it, it's charged. I drive it, I park again, I come back to it, it's charged. It's like having an infinite range car.
Yeah.
So the only time you would plug in would be that road trip where I'm looking for range extension.
Right.
And in that moment, I want to charge absolutely as fast as I can to get back on the road again. So I'm not trying to use wireless to solve that problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make really the best EV ownership experience you can have, which is like having an infinite range car. So we're trying to just deliver people a better experience.
Yeah.
And so the EV could be the best car that they've ever had.
Awesome. Is there a timeline on when the users are going to start showing up in with different
Well, you're going
brands?
to see fleets and like commercial fleets, on the road in 2024.
Okay.
On the work we're doing in golf carts, we announced today with EasyGo, and we announced today with Icon, and they both, in those press releases, announced that they're shipping this summer.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
great. Well, I really appreciate the help. And this is very exciting. And
great to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bryan.
So this is what we call like a super hub, all right? And what's unique about this is it's kind of microgrid where I can drop this anywhere and charge it. Normally when you have like a Tesla fast charging station, you have a substation, transmission, you gotta work with the utility. This guy acts as a buffer to the grid, right? And have level 3 charging. And the mobile application is...
So it does do level 3 charging?
It does level 3. We have level 2 as well.
Okay.
The first NAC standard level 2. And then also what's unique about this is it's kind of annoying. I lived in California for 12 years.
Yep.
I have a Tesla.
Yep.
There's long lines, right? You gotta wait 30 minutes
Especially
just to get charged
California.
another 30 minutes.
Yep.
So if all these fixed positions are done, this mobile guy will dispatch. I can go AI and autonomous and say, hey, go to parking space 45. He'll go over there, charge your car, and then come back to the mother hub to recharge. So that's what this guy could do. This is great for like, imagine you have in-ground parking in Manhattan, and you can't get transmission in these big high-rises, right?
Right.
I could leave this on the floor of the garage and then charge it. Okay. A lot of the airports love this because when you go on a business trip for 2 weeks, you end up, goes vampire draining and it'll die.
Right.
And then they got to
car's sitting
flatbed
at a
tow
hotel
you
right
out.
now. Yeah.
Right. So now they can offer concierge service, top you up before you land back, and then you can, not get stuck.
So obviously with this, you're selling to like hotels.
B2B fleet management, valet services, concierge. One of the biggest challenges I think for EV charging is it's usually like fixed position. It's mounted or it's static, right? Well, what happens when we have these car dealerships that have 200 cars on a lot? you're gonna be playing valet service and driving back and forth. So by having these mobile chargers, you can go to the fleet, top up, move on to the next.
Okay.
Right, without ever having to move the cars.
And so is that the main core of your business outside of the consumer, like portable chargers?
Yeah,
or?
consumer's very small. We just do that because it's kind of easy supply chain.
Yeah.
Gets us into consumer branding.
Okay.
But a lot of what we do is, B2B, selling to like airports, hospitality, and then our larger, 2 megawatt container would go to like a factory, a commercial, hotel, multifamily.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the application.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I'm here at 2024 CES, and look who I ran into. It's Kim Java. Hi. Kim, I just wanted to see, how the day's going, what you've seen that's interesting. We're here at TOG, which I don't know a lot about, but you seem to find out a lot recently.
Yes, I worked with TOG last year and again this year. It's a really interesting Turkish company, actually Turkiye is how it's pronounced now, and they do not refer to their car as a car. It's actually a smart device.
Ah, okay.
So there's two. They just released their second one. We have the T10X, and then that is over there. And then over here is the brand new one. It is the T10F.
Okay.
But the range is pretty good on this one. I don't know if you took a look at it.
I haven't yet, no.
It's a little over 370 miles of range, which is better than
I have Model Y,
expected.
so that's quite a bit better.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And right now, they just started doing deliveries of the T10X this last year in Turkey, and then they plan to spread to Europe over this next year. They don't have big plans right now of coming to the U.S.
I was just going to ask that,
Yeah, but it's still an impressive brand, and I think that it's important to follow what's going on around the entire world.
Absolutely. Any other cool spots that any other companies you've run across?
Well, this morning I was over at the booth for Aber, which is actually a robotic pool cleaner. That was very interesting. I haven't had much time to walk around yet. I definitely plan to go, see some of the other vehicles here. Yesterday I saw Volkswagen, which now has ChatGPT inside of it. We got to play around with that a little bit. But yeah, how about you? What have you seen so far?
So far, my favorite one was Pebble, the RV. Which have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had time. I've been so busy.
You do. It's right back over that way.
Check that out next.
The guy who started it, I think, is an ex-Apple designer or engineer, and so he started. It's an electric RV, and so it makes energy while it's rolling. At the same time, it's bi-directional, so you can charge it, or you can pull charging off it for an EV too. So kind of cool.
Very cool. I'll go check it out.
Yeah. So. And then what's up for the next few days? What do you got, what other companies are you going to be meeting with?
I'm only here until tomorrow's my last day here, and then I fly back to Atlanta tomorrow night. So my plan is just to see as much as I can possibly see. Obviously, my focus will be on all the electric vehicles coming out. I want to look at all those. But it's also, there's so much here, it's almost overwhelming. You're not going to see it all.
Yes,
you just have to do the best that you can do. So I really just try to focus on what I think my audience is going to want to see. So it's definitely going to go over to Mercedes probably after this, hit up all the OEMs and up and coming,
It seems to be this year the buzzword happens to be AI.
Oh, it's
everybody
all about AI this year for sure.
Yes, everybody's AI, sustainability, those are the big words.
They don't even call it a car, right? They call it a smart device because it's more than a car.
Cool, well thanks so much and hope you have a great time the rest of your trip here.
All right, take care.
Okay, so that about wraps up my week at CES 2024 in Las Vegas. Before I go, there was one more bit of interesting news that dropped, and it surprisingly came from Tesla. Although, like Apple, they don't attend CES, they did release their recently updated Project Highland Model 3 here in North America, which is welcome news as it was released in China a few months ago. Also, stay tuned for my normal travel videos next week, where I'll finally finish up my adventure series out west. See you in the next travel, quick tip, or review video. Thanks for watching.